Welcome to another day in the Matrix, waters above crypto. Today we're going to be going over the Suez Canal ritual, doing a little bit of a decode on that oil tanker. And then also we're going to be getting a little bit into the follow-up of yesterday's video on the Bitcoin daily closes, and also a little bit more into XRP, following up with that XRP chart that we were looking at a couple days ago, leading into the 76th and now into the 86th day of the year. If you guys aren't aware of that, go back and watch a couple of my videos and you'll be able to get a little bit more insight into what we've been doing here. So before we get started, if you like this content and haven't subscribed yet, I really appreciate it. Like and share this video to help this channel grow. If you're new here, we do cryptocurrency technical analysis and combine it with Gematria, Numerology, and Astrology to decode and understand these markets. So the first thing we're going to do is just really quickly decode the Suez Canal ritual. And what is this all about, right? It's all about crude oil, and also it is all about gas prices when it comes to normal people, just everyone having to deal with this crisis. And what we're going to see now is a bunch of 42s. So 42, of course, coming back to our great friends, the Jesuits. And of course, we could just keep going all day on this. Oil tanker 42. You got crude tankers with the 42 using the Chaldean cipher right here. And of course, this is all coming back again to Jesuit. Got some more 42s. We got war, and of course we got Iran. Iran also with the 24, but another interesting thing about this is the 9s matching with war and Iran. So why am I bringing up Iran? Well, because everything that was going on before was, a war on oil. And that war on oil now seems to be coming back again, kind of like as a smokescreen to push up the oil price. And of course, this has to do with hyperinflation, overprinting of the dollar, and it has to do with just consistently sending out psyops to everyone around the world via the news. And of course, the news is the broken compass, north, east, west, south. So we've seen a bunch of 42s in here, some more 42s. You got World War with the 42. You have Catholic Mass with the 42. Tons of 42s. But more importantly, crude oil, gas price, oil tanker, crude tankers with the 42, and all of this coming back to Jesuit. And another big reason for bringing up Iran is because recently there was some issues with them in Israel. But we'll keep going with this. So you have the Suez ritual with the 44. You have gasoline with the 44. You have petroleum with the 44. You have fossil fuel with the 44. And of course, you have Israel with the 44. Some other great words. And all of this, Israel, is tied to Jupiter. For Jupiter. We've went over this deeply in my mastermind. If you guys aren't aware of any of this stuff, do your own research. Start looking into astrotheology, and it'll make a lot more sense. So, Suez, Egypt is what this is all about. And you're coming again to the 42 in the Chaldean cipher. You're also getting the 99. Like I just said, with the connection to Jupiter, you have the 99 and the 36, 99 and 36, and then of course the 42, which is coming back to the 42s from the beginning. And another interesting thing that we're getting is the 144. So we also get that in Jesuit order. And then one last thing for this decode before we go into some of the dates and our final bonuses. We have Evergreen, right? And that was the name of the tanker. And, of course, we're getting the 99 coming back to Jupiter. We're getting the 54 coming back to Jesuit order. The 144 coming back to Jesuit order. And this is all tied together to the Suez, Egypt ritual. And I'm calling it a ritual because I know exactly what this is about. Okay? And their ritual always works in a number sequence of 222. So if you read any of the news, if you just type in oil tanker, crude oil, any of that, all the news that comes up keeps bringing up this idea of carbon pricing. So we're getting the 222, and you get some more 222s, Middle Eastern. And then we have to remember, what is 222 being used for in rituals all the time, right? So what do we remember about the Middle East and prices with oil and all of this, crazy stuff that happened about 20 years ago? You have 9/11. 9/11, 2001, and this is the date when the World Health Organization declared that the C word was a pandemic. On March 13th, 2020, we've passed the anniversary of that. And you're getting 222 months and 2 days exactly between these events, being some of the biggest events that the whole world has dealt with. So with that being said, all of this comes back to the Suez Canal ritual, the 222. So we'll leave it at that, and we'll start getting into some of the TA. So the recap that I wanted to do was basically this 2-day closure yesterday, basically skinning this moving average, this EMA right here, the 21 EMA. I discussed that in yesterday's video. We basically barely closed below it. It's the first time we've closed below it in a long time, a very long time, back in October. So we've been very, very parabolic since. And then the 3-day, we were looking to close above this blue line, which was the 13 EMA. Again, barely closed below it. I don't think this is coincidence. Back here on the 25th, we barely closed it below as well, and then we actually went onto new highs after that closure. So this doesn't mean it's a reversal sign. A reversal sign would be more likely if we closed a 55-day, which is this white moving average. And I've actually said this before, that I saw that this day right here, January 27th, was very, very similar to this day right here, the 25th of March, which was yesterday. And you could see barely touching a wick on the 55 EMA. Another one, just a little bonus, is the 200 EMA on the 6-hour. That was where I was anticipating an absolute wick, because we got that same thing on January 27th. Again, this all looking very similar to this range right here after Bitcoin went from 42,000 down to 29,000. So this is akin to the move that we're seeing right now from 62,000 down to where we're at right now. And I would assume they're actually probably very no, they're not nearly as high of a percentage move, but technically when it comes to the moving averages and all the other factors we've been looking into, that's basically what we're getting. One other thing to look into is the MACD. So on the daily chart, the MACD is actually crossed to the downside maybe about 5 or 6 days ago. This is very crucial. Whenever MACD crosses to the upside, we're bullish. So this movement right here, this very premature breakout and a consolidation that we're seeing right now, is very similar actually to November into December, before we went onto that crazy move from, 19,000 all the way up to 42,000, over 100% in just a couple weeks. And that could be in the cards right now. So we could be lining up for having this sort of similar price action that we saw around this moment right here. And that would also be very similar to this move that we got in January. Sorry for this chart. And also another thing that's pretty good is we've had a reset in the RSI. So you could see where my cursor is. That's when the RSI got to its low in this run so far, and we basically tapped down on the same level, 42. But we are getting what would be considered a bearish divergence, right? Because we're having lower highs on the RSI on the daily consecutively, even with higher prices. So that's what a bearish divergence would be. Again, if you don't know any of these technicals, please consider joining my mastermind. It's on sale right now. It's on sale with lifetime access, so you basically have a one-time payment and you're in forever. Tons of information. We go over everything from very beginner level investment strategies and thesis, portfolio building, and then work our way up into TA. And then now the content I've been making is more about decoding using Gematria Numerology Astrology, and we tie it all in together. So if you're interested in that, go to the description box. My email's there, and we could get you going. Now let's go a little bit into the TA on XRP. I want to bring up a couple of charts. I want to look at this chart after I look at another chart. So let me hide all these indicators, and this will have some nice value for you guys. So right here, we were looking at this chart leading into the breakout zone. And what we were seeing a couple days ago is above this red trend line, we saw resistance, we broke above it, and then we came down to confirm support. And then this 24th ritual happened. The Suez ritual occurred, and it brought all these prices down. Also, there was a lot of options expiries on Bitcoin leading into today. Billions of dollars, I think over 5 billion on just a couple platforms. But anyways, that doesn't matter. The point being is that when we broke out of this, and you could go back and watch that video where I went over this. It was called XRP confirmed breakout, right? We were above this red line, and then we dumped into it really quickly and basically perfectly came back to the bottom of this triangle. I haven't changed the chart since. And there is a quick V-shaped recovery. So when you see these quick recoveries, that tells you that this was a liquidity event, and that liquidity event was done on purpose. Basically just to liquidate high leverage trading and reset the market slightly. It's important, it's critical. It's a really big reason why people who do trading, especially on leverage, get fleeced and they lose a lot of money. Again, I'm not telling anyone what to do. This isn't financial advice, but be careful when you're leverage trading, especially with something like XRP. You know, from wick top to wick bottom, 24%, and then from wick bottom to where we're on now, you're looking at 22%. And then the overall move up from breakout to this move was 42%, and this is all going on in the course of just a week. It's pretty crazy. So trading this asset is no game. But with that being said, I do like this structure because when you see this quick V-shaped recovery, that's a huge sign of strength. And strength is important in an asset that's undervalued, right? Because if it's undervalued because it's lacking strength. And with that being said, I don't really love using moving averages and all that stuff. I don't really even love using trend lines, but this has been gearing up for breakouts. And since I've been doing more trend lines and analysis that way, it's been really helpful in understanding how things are going. So with that being said, I'm going to go over to this chart. This chart we were looking at because we saw a couple things. One, a big cup and handle formation. So this would be the bowl. This would be the handle. Clear breakout into this box territory where we made predictions determining when this breakout would start. Again, the breakout target was always me trying to tell people we need to go in order. And that order was I want to see a daily closure above this 70-cent level right here, because that was the body close of the high so far, one of the highest body closes we've seen in multiple years. So a 70-cent closure would bring us up to a measured move of about $1 to $1.05. If we don't get that move first, we're not doing anything. So in the short term, we need to start closures in this area right here between 66 cents and 59 cents. If we could get a weekly closure in that area, particularly, because you can see the week closures, the resistance is 62. So if we get a weekly close in this 66, 62 cent level, I wouldn't be surprised if this could keep moving up. But of course, you can see there is an uptrend, right? There is an uptrend going, and that's great. And I believe that what we just saw a couple days ago was a confirmation of the big W breakout we were seeing. So essentially, you have a W right here, and then you came down back into it to confirm as support. And that would be confirmed by this level right here. And you could see we just had tiny little wicks right there. So it doesn't really count. It was just a couple of candle bodies. And ultimately, things have been strong above that 50-cent level. And that's what we've been wanting to see for a while anyways. Anyone who's been following my calls on XRP, we were buying at the sub 20-cent level. So for anyone who's mad because you're not seeing gains on XRP, it was because you started buying into these pumps, and you never follow the herd. You never follow what the herd is doing, because the whales follow what the herd is doing, and that's why they send it in the direction they need it to go. So it's very important. And that's why you also have to hedge yourself with Bitcoin. Again, we're not a full XRP channel, like only XRP. We're not only about Bitcoin on this channel. We're about a very solid portfolio that is made up of making our best decision on what the future is most likely going to be comprised of, which is things that have to deal with stores of value to protect yourself against fiat death spiral, and then also what's working with the banks. So that would be XRP and XLM, and then everything else that'll have utility in the fourth industrial revolution, in the new AI technocratic overrealm. And there's a lot of plays that will have to do with that, but how many of them will last? So this isn't financial advice. You have to learn which projects are going to do great, and don't gamble on them. Don't throw all your money in. I'll do one more just to wrap this up. Zilliqa has been a play that I was really excited to see have that nice little pullback yesterday. Getting in at that level. Again, if anyone is in my mastermind, you knew that we were tracking this breakout right here. I pulled a fib up to these levels right here. And I was saying anything into this 618 to 786 is pretty gold. And that was our second retouch back here. So it's given a second chance. When it comes to some of the other indicators, I'm going to look down here real quick. Oh yeah, we're doing great. 55 on the RSI on the daily. That means it has tons of room to go up. And the MACD, although it's crossed bearish, this isn't bad at all. This is necessary for it to consolidate. And if you could see the previous fractal that it was trading at, which is around 15 cents flat, it just keeps closing dailies above that 15 cent. And this might end up being a little bit of like a head and shoulders. We don't know. We'll have to see what goes on with Bitcoin dominance and some of the other plays. But anyways, with that being said, we're still on track with XRP. We're still looking pretty healthy on Bitcoin. In order for Bitcoin to be making new highs, though, it has a lot of work to do. So I would not be surprised if we keep having a little bit of a sideways movement like we saw right here. And then my target of the first week of April into the second week of April will probably come true. And go back in the videos, watch the video that I made about April 5th, the expectation for a $70,000 Bitcoin moving into April. I did make a video yesterday discussing that Bitcoin and all of these cryptos do need to have a consolidation. That would be healthy. But the problem with bull markets is when the blood comes to the streets, it happens fast. It happens so fast, and it's so scary for most people that they don't take action on it. So that's why yesterday's video, I had Jerome Powell on the thumbnail saying buy the dip. Not financial advice, but you want to buy those dips because you don't know what could happen. You don't know if the whole market could reverse right now. No YouTuber can predict that. And anyone who's saying that we're going to crash or we're going to do that, that stuff's really, really toxic. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to discern through that stuff what if it makes sense to you? What if it vibes with you? And if it doesn't vibe with you, stop consuming that content. It's very, very, very simple. Um, but with that being said, I feel like I have an amazing community here. We've gotten to 2,000 subscribers. I will be doing that giveaway sometime in the first or second week of April, working out some of the logistics on that. And I'm also trying to pump out as much free content as well as my 4 private videos per week on my mastermind. I've had a lot of people who are mastermind members discuss an idea of creating some sort of Discord or chat group. I'm considering that, but I'm moreover working towards making a website. A website would be really awesome, especially throwing in a Gematria calculator into it and a numerology calculator and all that as some sort of an application. It'll probably run on unstoppable domains, so it'll be a crypto website, a website that'll be connected to a crypto address. I have lots of ideas, so if anyone has any ideas also, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. I really appreciate your guys' support. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video and you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe, like and share this channel so that we could help grow it, and enjoy the rest of your day in the Matrix. Peace.